Hello and welcome to the 50th episode of the Fan Film Podcast. This is July 4th, 2009.
Yo! We'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra and Destro, fighting to save the day. He never gives up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe.
I have Mr. Sean Olson online, I do believe.
Yes.
Say hello.
Sounds like it.
Say hello, Will.
Hello, sir. Hello.
This is Fanboy Will with us.
Hey, Fanboy Will.
He's my cohort.
How you doing, buddy? I'm doing really, really good. Great. Awesome to hear. Been an amazing last couple weeks, actually. I can imagine.
Just not G.I. Joe related and things beyond that, or all about the fan film?
All the way across the board.
Okay.
My wife and I are going to Europe for the first time starting Saturday. I'm so excited about that.
Awesome.
The G.I. Joe thing came in, they talked to us around Memorial Day, and, things just started rolling from there. So now I guess we're on this DVD.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting story.
Yeah.
Because I know it was kind of, we'll get into all that stuff. Okay, this is Sean, do you use your middle name, Sean Robert Olson?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can just say Sean Olson. But,
okay. Sean, this is Sean Olson. And his fan film is G.I. Joe, Battle for the Serpent Stone. And that's at his respective site, www.gijoefilm.com, respectively. And he directed, edited, wrote, executive produced. He was, the grip, the best boy, the makeup artist, you name it.
No, we hired all those people.
Well, let's just start with kind of your background, how you got into film, and then we'll pick it up from there.
Well, as a kid, just like I'm sure you guys are, was a big fan of films, and shot a little, some stuff when I was a kid growing up, just, little things with a little Sony Handycam, and
yeah.
Eventually, what I did was, in high school, they had an opportunity to do, like, a TV production class, and so we would do a newscast every week, and I did that, and I started learning how to edit, and then from there, I just, got more and more into it, and thought, hey, this is actually something I could really do and make a living on, and went to school in Tucson. They have a media arts program, and it was kind of primitive at the time. They didn't have, we didn't have all the technology that we do today, so a lot of it was done, with old school, like, CP16 cameras, which they used during, like, the Vietnam War to record news footage, and we got to cut film. It was very expensive, but it was one of those things that we really understood, like myself and all the other students, really understood, how to put the films together, and, we actually got to work with film. So then from there, I graduated, got into news, did television news for a couple of years, made a short film when I moved out to Los Angeles, my first short, which was Latchkey, and we shot that on 16 millimeter, and then this project came around, and a buddy of mine, I was working at the TV show Extra at the time, and he was a big G.I. Joe fan, and I was, and we'd been talking about it, and we wanted to do some sort of, movie serial action-adventure project, and then somebody told me, well, hey, why don't you just do G.I. Joe? It's a short film. There's not really a, you're just using it as a calling card and as a way to, show off what you can do. And so we decided on G.I. Joe, and then kind of went from there.
Now, we're pretty much familiar with the fan film scene, kind of at that point, right?
I kind of was, but the fan films that I remember seeing, I think the first one I ever saw was Troops, and that was just I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so that was just the funniest thing I'd seen. And then, you know, George Lucas in Love, and I've seen some of the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
And recently I've seen, like, there's the Batman, was it Batman Dead End?
Yeah, that's the one that usually people throw out there.
Yeah, and I actually hadn't seen it until recently because I'd heard about it and everybody kept telling me to watch it, and then finally I was just like, all right, I'm going to check it out. And I mean, it was pretty awesome. I mean, the way that I guess the guy had worked on the Predator movies.
I think, one of the guys that he knew there, I guess, did the costuming.
So he was like, Stan Winston was his mentor.
Right.
The special effects dude. And he kind of like just fell in with him in the whole movie scene, and then eventually he got a pretty respectable budget together, and he threw together that movie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he was lucky.
That looks amazing. And the Robin one looks great.
Oh, yeah. I think that's Chris's favorite. Isn't that your favorite,
yeah,
Chris?
I would say. No, G.I. Joe, the Serpent Stone's my favorite.
Well, it looks like a whole feature. I mean, did they shoot enough for a feature? Because, I mean, they have everything there.
It's just like 8 minutes of solid, just awesome film.
I think, Sean, it was pretty much like you did. It was pretty much a calling card to say, here I am, this is what I can do.
Okay.
It was never meant to be a feature.
He made it look big. That's for dang
he sure did.
So,
were you aware of any other G.I. Joe fan films?
There was one, what was it called? It was by is it IDIC Entertainment?
Yeah, that's Rene Perez, my friend, who did the Special Missions 1 and 2, yeah.
Yeah, that was the only one that I could find. I was looking all over for it, and, just to see what else was out there. And that one was really cool. And the styling of the characters is very different from, like, what we did, because I think that's like because G.I. Joe's gone through so many incarnations. I think that was like Duke is a later incarnation the last 10 years or so. I don't know.
Who was the original? It was Hawk, who was the original dude, right? What the hell was his name?
General Hawk was the original, and there's it goes down to, Duke, and then down the line.
Well, yeah, like Duke in the cartoon show from the 80s, and that's kind of where we based everything off of, was, that was like one of those things that, as a kid in the 80s, myself and my friend, Mike Miller, who was the executive producer and co-wrote the film, we grew up watching that show, and that was, for me, that was a progression from Star Wars. It was like you played, you had all the Star Wars toys, and you were obsessed with Star Wars, and then G.I. Joe came out. And
I could totally relate.
Their action figures were so much better than the Star Wars ones. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we based it off of, was the styling, and, we tried to update what was there from the 80s show.
That's a question I was going to ask you. Did you want your film to originally be a faithful adaptation of the cartoon, or is it a whole different animal altogether? You're kind of taking elements from the cartoon and kind of like, modernizing them, or bringing them more to the live-action medium, or are you just kind of just doing your own thing with it?
No, I guess I would say that what we had hoped to do was, and I think it's in the script. If you really watch closely with the way the dialogue is, and some of the dialogue is very stylized towards kind of what you would have seen in the cartoon show.
I kind of picked up on that, yeah.
Yeah, because like those nasty vipers and that type of stuff, like real military people are probably not going to say it.
Yeah, the G-Wiz kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so what we did was we kind of we went back and looked at a lot of the cartoon shows, the animated series, and pulled a couple lines here or there. Some of the lines actually are similar to what you would see in like an Indiana Jones movie, and so we kind of used the cartoon as a template, but we knew that. First of all, we knew we couldn't pull Destro off. Like, that was one of those things that, we get a lot of people say, "Where's Destro? Where's Destro?"
Everybody loves Destro. That's why he's kind of like, he's like Megatron.
But to like realistically portray him on screen the way that he was in the animated show would be really difficult. And
with the movable metal lips on the mask.
Yeah,
I always love that. You see the metal lips moving.
So we had thought about that, but then Major Blood, he just has an eye patch, and you have to do the Baroness.
Oh yes.
So we
she was
just
nice Baroness.
Yeah, she Kelly Cole, who's the Baroness, when she auditioned for the movie, she actually came wearing dark glasses like the Baroness, and I was like, this woman loves this character already, and we haven't even fully talked to her about it. I guess her brother was a fan of the show.
Gotcha.
And she actually, we had 2 costumes. We had a cat suit, a leather cat suit, not a leather, but a vinyl cat suit for her, and that's Mike had gotten all picked out. We went through all the costumes, and that's one of the ones that he had found for her. And there were 2 sizes, and one was super tight and one was super loose, and we were shooting in the desert in the mountains outside of Los Angeles in July, and just at my house, she put on the tighter one, and it looked good, but there was no way she was going to be able to run and jump and do all the, whatever it is that she was going to do in the movie without getting, like, heat stroke or fainting or something.
Mm-hmm.
So she had an idea to redesign the suit, and she actually went to a bunch of, like, sex shops in Hollywood and bought and pieced together her suit and said, hey, how about this? And we looked at it, and that's what you see on film.
Yeah. Well, it looked good.
Yeah,
I agree.
No.
Yeah.
I concur.
One of the quotes I've seen on YouTube is, I must breed with Baroness.
That was me. I wrote that.
Probably is. You dirty bastard.
Yeah, I'm glad with the Cobra Commander there you went with kind of the Jigsaw kind of voice from the Saw movies rather than the hee from the cartoon series. The hiss. Yeah, the hissing.
Yeah. Yeah, we were debating that, like, about a bunch of different people tried different voices for it.
Treachery! And all that stuff.
Yeah.
Constantly complaining about treason, treachery.
And it sounds all right in the cartoon, but, I mean, if you look back on it, it's kind of ridiculous. And then if you watch it in this dark scene, it wouldn't work. So we kind of went with, like, a Darth Vader approach, but we didn't want it to, you can't sound like James Earl Jones because it's James Earl Jones.
Right.
So we kind of tried to get a darker kind of sound. We didn't think of Jigsaw, but I guess if that's kind of how it sounds.
Yeah, kind of. That's what I thought. It was pretty cool when I saw it.
Cobra Commander demands a report.
Yes, Commander.
Have you retrieved the Apophis Stone yet?
No, not yet, sir.
And the Joes?
We're tracking them.
What? You told me they were finished.
It's under control.
Under control? Do you understand how important this is to the future of Cobra?
Greetings. I trust that you are all wondering where you are. 3 hours from now, the door to this house will open. Unfortunately, you only have 2 hours to live. Right now, you are breathing in a deadly nerve agent. The only way to overcome it and walk out the door is to find an antidote. Let the game begin.
The guy who played Snake Eyes, Andrew China McCoy, he was a stuntman for the Matrix movies.
Yep. Oh, cool.
And he was actually Lawrence Fishburne's stunt double in the first Matrix and the second Matrix. And he coordinated all the fight scenes. He choreographed them. And we got this mask for him that a friend of mine made that lives in Ohio. And he had heard about the movie, and he's like, I got to make you the mask. And so he put together this authentic Snake Eyes mask, but it was a rubber mask, and it was glued together. And the last day of the shoot is the big fight scene, and somebody left the mask out in the sun.
Oh, no.
So it fell apart, and it just became this whole thing, like, we kind of call it like our Jaws moment, where the entire time we're always waiting to find out if the mask is working, kind of like the shark is the shark is not working, the shark is not working. And so the mask didn't get together until probably an hour before the sun went down. We finally got it glued together, and it was one of those things where we're shooting we shot all those hand-to-hand combat scenes that take place in the latter half of the movie with Major Blood and the Cobra Troopers. And when we're shooting that scene, the whole time we're just thinking, it's going to be one take. The mask is going to fall apart, and we're going to have to come back another day to shoot this. And we actually made it through the entire shoot, and it didn't fall apart. but it was pretty close to not making it.
You shot that in 2 days.
You went for the Gen 2 version of Snake Eyes, not the original with the kind of ski goggles, but more the
Gen 2 version is by far my favorite one.
Yeah, it's cool.
So.
What's the Gen 2? School me. What's that?
It looks like Geordie LaForge, but
yeah,
but not.
A little bit wider. The other problem with it was, like, China was going to do all these, like, he had all these trampoline flips planned out and all that. And the thing was is that his field of vision with that mask was so narrow and those slits were so small that he couldn't flip and land safely. So we had some great choreography planned out that we just couldn't get because of safety. I mean, it looks great. It's just, we'd probably approach it a little bit differently if we were to do it again.
So would you say that the actors in your movie are G.I. Joe fans, all of them? Or maybe a couple of them are, and some not so sure?
I would say some people love characters more than others, but
right.
I would say all of the stuntmen, like, I don't know if I can cuss or whatever, but I'll put...
Of course you can.
Okay?
You can fucking just go crazy.
All right. I just want to make sure if it's easier. No. The guy, China, I said, hey, do you want to play Snake Eyes? And he's like, Snake Eyes? Fuck yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. And, all the Cobra Trooper guys, one guy flew out from Florida, Maurice, who was one of the troopers, and he just wanted to do it because he wanted to be part of a G.I. Joe movie. And then, the Baroness was, Kelly was way into the character.
Yeah, she did a great job.
And the guy who played Major Blood, he was, they all had a really good time doing it, and they all got to do things that, they normally wouldn't get to do on a short film.
Right.
Olivia, who played Lady J, we actually hung her from that cliff. And, that was one of the things we talked to each actor before we did the movie. We said, these are the things that you're going to do. You're going to be running, you're going to be climbing, you're going to be falling. Do you have a problem with that? And each one of them are just like, no, let's do it. So
Lady J will tell you last what you'll be doing.
What's that?
So Lady J will tell you last what you'll be doing. Hanging on the cliff.
Well, it was one of those things where we were going to get a stunt double for the... we had problems with the insurance, and I was worried about safety with her. And,
right.
we're hanging her from a cliff, and it's like, I don't want her to, like, fall out, slide down. It was about 40 feet high, 50 feet high.
And that'll do it.
I don't want something to happen and then, lawsuit time. So but she was totally cool about doing it, and then we had got this, this guy who's done a lot of that type of stunt work before that, made sure that everybody was safe. The director of photography, George Reisner, he was tied down. Scott Roberts was tied down. Who played Duke. Every single person that was near that cliff was tied down so that no accidents could happen. So it felt pretty safe once you were up there and saw all the things that they were doing to make sure that nobody got hurt.
I'll have to go back and take a closer look. See if I can see.
If you look closely, you might see a cable behind the Baroness, but I don't think you'll see it anywhere else. So
here's something I noticed. It's a big thing, actually, for cartoon lovers of the original show, and I guess those in the know, but you use bullets instead of laser beams.
All right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That always bothered me as a kid. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You're mixing Star Wars with G.I. Joe? They're two separate things, But you can't kill somebody.
If you look back at it, it's almost like they were trying to make a Americanized version of Star Wars for the for G.I. Joe, because Cobra Commander is kind of like Darth Vader, and
right.
But yeah, the lasers are. You can't really see bullets like you can see lasers on Cartoon Land. So
yeah, exactly.
I always thought the funny thing about the show is every time an airplane got shot down, somebody always parachuted.
Yeah, exactly.
The parachute.
Yeah.
At the last minute, there it goes. No one's dead, everyone.
Right. It wasn't really like till Batman in the animated series where you saw, guns and possible death in cartoons, in American cartoons.
Gangsters died and stuff in that show, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got mowed down.
We actually thought about doing, at the very end of the movie, we were actually talking about doing and knowing is half the battle with, like, Lady Jane through a window.
That
and, like, the
awesome.
kids, like, experimenting with alcohol and, you know. What is that?
Experimenting? I must be a professor.
Now, isn't it true you filmed actual cameos with Sergeant Slaughter and the Refrigerator Perry, but you had to cut them out of the film due to length?
That is awesome if that's true.
That would have been funny, but no.
Did you ever have any plans to have any other Joes in the film? Besides, like, the original, you know, you got your core group of Duke, Lady J, Snake Eyes. Did you want to maybe include other people?
Well, we were debating on, because the way that the film ends, it's kind of open-ended, so they could continue on. And so the debate was, at the very end, you see Zartan. And we were debating on whether or not you would either see Zartan or Storm Shadow, because who doesn't want to see Storm Shadow fight Snake Eyes?
Exactly.
And we couldn't. We're having problems with getting like a realistic costume for Storm Shadow, so we figured, well, a makeup job for Zartan would be pretty simple. And we just kind of threw a sheet over his head, actually.
It's called Gene Simmons. How do you do it, Gene? Throw the hood over your head. You just call Gene Simmons and get some pointers from him.
Well, that was the greatest part about being on set was the first time you see the Baroness walk out in her costume. You're just like, I feel like I'm making this like Star Wars type otherworldly movie. You know,
like larger than life kind of a.
Yeah, because I mean, she needed people to like. When she started walking, she had high heels, so she had like, you know, a PA standing next to her to make sure she wasn't going to fall down in a couple of spots.
Have you ever gotten to speak or meet Larry Hama at all?
No.
No. Huh?
No, I haven't met any. I haven't met any of the G.I. Joe people at all.
Who's Larry Hama? Who's Larry Hama?
Larry Hama is the original. Well, you go ahead, buddy. You could tell him.
Oh no, I guess he's like the creator of the show, right? The animated show.
He basically wrote a lot of the original comic books, and believe it or not, pretty much all of the file cards for every single G.I. Joe he wrote.
Oh, okay, the Marvel comic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the comic growing up, love the cartoon, so I'm like I'm a total G.I. Joe geek, so.
So how do you feel about the new movie coming out, actually, then?
Yep. What do you think about that so far, looking at that? What do you think?
I'd rather hear your comments.
Mine's probably the same as that, actually. It's probably like,
what's up with those fucking suits? They're making such a big deal about those suits.
I heard about those suits about a year and a half ago, and
Sigma 6.
Yeah. I don't know. I would love for them to make a really good G.I. Joe film, but I'm worried that this one isn't going to be. You've probably read a bunch of the rumors on the fan sites and stuff about you know, what people are saying about the movie, and I mean it could be good, but I
don't think it's going to.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's the guy that made fucking Van Helsing, okay?
It was? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Stephen Sommers.
Oh, that was a stinker.
Yeah, it was bad. But he made The Mummy, which is, okay, a bad Raiders of the Lost Ark ripoff, but The Mummy was good.
The Mummy was horrible.
No.
It was a fun movie, though.
Yeah. No.
You never know what's going to happen, you know, how it's going to turn out, but yeah, I think it's.
Always expect the worst first.
Yeah, he's president.
Yeah.
This is going to suck. That way we'll be disappointed.
All I have to say is I feel like they cast the right guy as Snake Eyes, because I think
Ray Park's
kicks ass as Darth Maul and all the other, and I like the look of Snake Eyes in the movie. I think that they've been pretty close to accurate with the way that they're showing him.
Well, that was the first poster I saw was Ray Park as Snake Eyes, and oh my God, this is gonna fucking rock! And then all of a sudden, they show all the other actors, and they're all in these black Batman suits without the cape and cowl, you know. And it's like,
Well, and it's like that was part of the thing that was so great about the show is like the different costumes that you had.
It was almost like they're superheroes. They all have their own uniforms, you know.
Yeah.
Well, even Sean kind of brought him into the modern world with the costumes that he put on his actors, but they weren't all fucking black leather.
Exactly, and they all look the same. I mean, part of the joke thing again is the, standing out as a separate person, being a mission specialist in a certain area. Like you have ranger, or you have like landmine detector or whatever. Everybody was different.
Yeah. My little brother, he's like, all I want to see is Dusty, because he thought Dusty was like the badass character in the show.
Yeah, he came in at that like midway point with Lady Jane, everybody, and Flint.
Yeah.
And then they got to stick a freaking Wayne's brother in that movie. I thought Dungeons and Dragons was going to be awesome, and then they stuck a freaking Wayne's brother in that movie.
Apparently your dog hates it.
Yeah, my dog's going to hate this.
Kill.
I liked Marlon Wayans in Requiem for a Dream, though. I thought that he was remarkable.
I forgot he was in that. That's right.
Yeah, so.
I never saw that one. Well, let's get into, let's get back to your fan film, and as far as, now you did plan, it was supposed to be a serial, right? You did plan further adventures, but things happened where it didn't happen.
Adventures, but, budget-wise, it's, if you're not making money off of it, or not even not making money off of it, if you're not breaking even on it and you're losing money on it, it's really hard to,
justify it, right?
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Because, there's so many factors in putting one of these together. You have to deal with insurance, and you have to deal with, some people will do it pro bono, but then you have to get the equipment to do it. And, in order for it to look right, there's a lot of factors involved in, monetary factors involved in getting it done. And so as far as wanting to do more, we would love to do more, but as far as, what it is that we've done, I think that we accomplished what we set out to do, which was to make, I always consider it the second chapter of a serial, because the first chapter would take place prior to them getting to this, Mongolia. Like I had this arc in my mind for how it could continue to go, but it was one of those things where we posted the movie was out there, we actually got it into a couple of festivals, and then Hasbro shut the movie down, more or less.
The man came down on you.
And now how'd they do that? Did they contact you? Was there a letter?
Yeah, we got a letter sent in the email.
They used a big Hasbro stamp.
And it was like a copyright infringement type of thing, and it was from a law firm in New York, and it was one of those things where at first you're just like scared shitless. You look at it and you're like, holy shit. And then you're like thinking, and then you start talking to a couple people, and they're like, you really made it when Hasbro's coming after you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's out there. And so they wanted us to not show the movie. They actually sent one of the festivals a cease and desist letter as well that we were invited to go to. And so we had to pull the movie out of that festival. And then we had, we used the G.I. Joe logo on the website, but nowhere on the website were we asking for, for people to buy it. It was just for the fans to watch. And so I had a lawyer talk to them and just see if they could grant us permission to show it in festivals, and they wouldn't budge. They said it didn't fit with their marketing campaign at the time or their plans for G.I. Joe. And then it just kind of sat. We put it on, we had the trailer on YouTube, and we had somebody had gotten a copy of the movie and put it on the internet as well. And then at Memorial Day weekend, I got an email saying, hey, we'd like to put the movie in this 17-disc box set with the whole 80s show, and we really feel honored to be a part of that, because I know they were looking at a bunch of other movies to go on there as well. They had the problems they had with the other movies is some of them weren't, they weren't true G.I. Joe movies. Some of them used music that was copywritten.
Right.
And
you had an original score in your film, which is awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my good friend from college, Jason Brandt, who he actually he writes a lot of music out here, and he wrote that score original for us, and he's actually written scores for all the movies I've directed. And he always does such an amazing job. Like, you give him the temp score, and for this movie, we used a little bit of Batman Begins as the temp score. We used some of the Lord of the Rings stuff as the temp score, and then he watches it, and more or less you can't even, people get so attached to the temp scores when they cut the movies together, and once you hear his score, it just kind of elevates the film and brings a new life to the film. And he always consistently does that. It's amazing.
It's very Hollywood. It's very professional.
Yeah, no, I mean, he has a lot of samples, I guess, that he uses, and a lot of them are from. I think a lot of them are from like that Hans Zimmer type library.
Right.
So a lot of the sounds that he can get are pretty much identical to the sounds that Hans Zimmer can get. Some of the things that he's not able to do unless he had like a real orchestra would be like the higher brass. Like I just finished cutting together another movie that I made, and I sent it to him, and it has like some high brass, and he's like, "There's no way I can do that." Like the temp score scared him half to death. He's like, "I hope you're not, expecting me to emulate that," but
a little too much.
Ours in his house, and I mean, yeah, he's just amazing. So, yeah.
So how did this whole thing where originally Hasbro was like, no way in hell, and we're going to come down on you, and then all of a sudden, how did they explain themselves when they came back to you that second time? Hey!
Well, I never talked directly to Hasbro. I had a lawyer that talked to, and the thing was, is the lawyer I had just talked to their lawyers.
Okay, that's a good move.
So that's pretty much. So when we had the cease and desist, they're the ones who talked, and they came out with, they liked the movie, but what they were doing at the time, and then I just, a gentleman at Brian Ward at Shout Factory was putting together this compilation. I don't even think he knows about he knew about the cease and desist or any of that, and he said, "Hey, we're going to send it to Hasbro and see if they'll approve it being on the DVD." And he sent it to them, and they said yes, and they didn't have us change anything. They just said, "Yeah, include it on the DVD."
You didn't even ask what the change of heart was or anything. You just, okay, cool.
Well, yeah, well,
as long as you're not suing me.
Yeah.
It's either the movie is either dead or alive, and if it's on the DVD compilation, then people actually can see it.
Has it gotten you massive like attention? Like, have you seen your emails just multiply and quadruple since the announcement of your film being on the DVD set?
Not exactly. No,
really?
I would say that the interest has been consistent for the last year and a half or so. Like, we get a lot of YouTube comments. I get a lot of emails from people asking for copies of the movie. We actually had, and I don't know if you've been to the website recently, but I've updated the website, and a guy named Jeff Hayes, who's done a lot of fan film posters.
We spoke about him last night.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
That guy is amazing. And,
Jeff Hayes is in the house.
Yeah, he sent me an email, and he's like, "Hey, I'd like to, take a crack at the poster," and he's like, "Check out my website." And I looked at his website, and there's posters with Sulu and Chekhov, and all these different Star Trek, some horror films and all that. And I said, "Well, what do you need?" And I sent him a bunch of files, and he had a concept. He sent it back to me, and we made revisions. But he did an amazing job
in
a short period. I mean, it took him like a week. So
he's been around a while. I've seen posters from him for a long time.
I'm sure he's done a bunch of Star Wars.
Hidden Frontier. Remember what Hidden Frontier, the Star Trek series?
That's right.
He was doing them for a while.
He's been around.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things, and then after I got the email from him, then I got an email from you guys about doing this, and we've gotten people commenting on the movie. You always get good and bad. And,
of course, the fanboys always got to be difficult.
Well, I mean, I know that when I watch a movie, I'm just as critical as the next person.
Right.
How would I do with this movie or whatever? But yeah, no, I mean, we've gotten a lot of people asking about the movie. But not like this overwhelming thing of emails.
Well, it'll be interesting once the actual box set does come out to people that aren't aware of fan films or what the hell a fan film is. What kind of response you get then, if anything. So we'd definitely like to hear either way.
This is actually a big this is a
big deal for fan films. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the one thing about the the best thing about the movie being on this set is that I talked with Brian, who's at Shot Factory, and I told him, hey, we have surround sound in the movie. Like, the sound designer had the whole surround sound track. Is there a way to put it on there? And while the animated show isn't in surround sound, he said, yeah, we can. It's on its own disc. We can throw it in surround sound, so the movie you'll actually be able to watch it in surround sound, which is cool.
That's great.
Oh, 5-1 mix. I mean, the lady that did that for us, she does a great job. Like, she created almost all of the different sounds that are in there. And,
yeah, I heard the Wilhelm scream in there.
Yeah, I did that. I did that definitely on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, every action, even the Lord of the Rings has that in there. I mean,
a lot of fan films. I always can point it out. A lot of fan films put it in too.
Well, and it's funny when you get people that say, "Oh, you use the Star Wars scream." I hate that.
No.
Star Wars scream. George Lucas took it from. I think it's an in-joke with all the sound designers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Don Glue was talking about that.
Yeah, that was used way before Star Wars, though.
Yeah. The cut of the film we're going to be seeing on the DVD set, is it going to be the same what's being shown on YouTube besides the sound being better, or is it going to be more additional footage in there, or?
No, it's pretty much exactly the same. I think the YouTube is it's only 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes flat, yeah.
The last shot in the movie is Zartan, so if that's what you're seeing on YouTube, then that's exactly what's going to be
cool.
in the movie. Well, I mean, we have a shot of, at the very, very end, there's a shot of Snake Eyes punching the camera, more or less.
Right.
Just doing one of those fist pumps. But, yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to see on there. And then what I'm going to do on my website is I have a bunch of behind-the-scenes vignettes, and I'm going to, post a couple of those here and there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love to see that stuff.
As it approaches, because we have everything from the fight scene to, everything on the cliff. So you can kind of see how that looked as we were filming it, and the wires and the harnesses and all that.
You can see the people holding the big net for Lady J, so she doesn't fall. And
you have the Baroness tight suit on there?
There's no net below her, but there's a lot of cables holding her up.
There you go.
And the Baroness does that. She's doing that whole scene with her high-heeled boots.
Yeah.
So.
Is the tight suit on there? Kind of shot with the tight suit on.
Actually, it is actually on there. It is on there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Boy. Yeah, and
thanks, Don.
Like how pale she is.
How what now?
Can't take this guy anywhere.
How pale she is because of how, it wiped her out right away.
Oh, okay. Because it was suck it in.
Fantastic job on the movie, sir. It's a great achievement, and thank you for striking a blow for us fan filmmakers and reviewers. Get the man to recognize that there is talent out there, and it's worth the time to show it and then exhibit it. And so them agreeing to show your fan film on their big desk, so that's a huge thing, and congratulations. It's just fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a big step for fan films.
Well, and I just want to mention a couple of other. I just want to mention my producer on the movie, Shannon Kendall, because I didn't mention his name earlier. But without his help, Mike Miller's help, those are the two guys that kind of, because no one person really makes a movie.
No,
it's the assemblage of all the talent that you have, and without their help, there's really you don't see it on the big screen. So
I think it was Kevin Smith who said once. Kevin Smith said, "I hate to actually go a so-and-so film. It takes a lot more than one person to make a film. It's not a Kevin Smith film. It's his company. He hates when people do that. I think it was him.
The nice thing about his movies is he always has the same group of people working with him, which is great.
Right.
Without the passion of everybody else to do the movie, it wouldn't look like it does, because a lot of people put in a lot of, hours, especially, the actors did such a great job doing that, and, China and the stuntmen, they were working nonstop, so that once we started shooting, it was already planned out. It wasn't one of those things where, the producers and I, we went to rehearsal, and they showed us what they were doing, and then, once we got there, it was, it just kind of happened. We didn't have to go through it over and over and over again. It saved us a lot of time.
Yeah, they all did a great job. I'll put that on record, damn it.
Y'all did a great job. Played the parts beautifully.
I'll sign that.
Well, thank you very much.
Can you comment on what else you're working on before we take off? You were doing a web series, right?
Yeah, plug away. We like plugs.
Oh yeah, no, we're let's see. Right now, I've got a feature script that I have in development called In the Blink of the Eye, and it's like a Tucson border. It's kind of a Tucson border thriller where some immigrants die, and a news editor is kind of piecing together the crime scene and different, kind of like the conversation where Gene Hackman's like hearing the different aspects of a conversation. Once he assembles it together, he kind of gets the real gist of what's going on. So I have that, and then we have a web series that we've shot 3 episodes for, and it's kind of like Cloak and Dagger Cloak and Dagger meets Nancy Drew meets 24. It's kind of styled a little bit like 24 without the picture-in-picture type stuff.
And the annoying damn clock in the corner.
Yeah, no clock in the corner, and none of that.
Can your characters drive from one part of L.A. to the other in 53 seconds?
You know what's funny, though, is I feel like the first season of 24, you actually felt like it took them a long time to get from point A to point B, and now it's like, who cares?
Yeah, you gotta dispense belief when you watch it. I love the show, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan. You just gotta dispense belief when you watch it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The man headbutts people in real life. I mean, it doesn't get any cooler than that.
And I love they blow all this shit up, they kill all these people, and then at the end they have like a Greenpeace save the environment spot. What? On this show?
Bunch of violent fucking hippies.
What's that, Sean?
They've been doing that with Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. What's up with that?
And they've also kind of toned down like the whole like Jack torturing. I actually worked on, you know what, here's another one for you guys. I did work on a movie called Seven. I was the editor on this movie, and it's a parody of 24. I don't know if you guys have heard about it.
No.
And it was really fun. We did it in the 48-hour film festival, so it was just one of those quick around type movies.
Right.
And we had the split screens. We actually it's before the G.I. Joe movie, and a lot of the crew on that movie went over to the G.I. Joe movie.
Okay.
So I served as the editor on Seven. The director of photography, George Reasoner, was on both movies, and because we originally were going to do the Joe as part of the 48-hour project, and then it just got bigger and bigger, and we're like, all right, let's do this as a regular project. But there's a lot of comedy in it. It's directed by Peter Sullivan and produced by Mark Ferrero, and those two guys were associate producers on the G.I. Joe film. So,
is that online?
That's on. I don't know if they have the whole movie online. Yeah. If you go to Brain Bucket Films, I don't know if it's Brain Bucket Films Ltd. I do have scenes on my website. If you go to srcinema.com and you go to the video gallery and look up, I think, action movies or comedy, and there's clips of the movie on there. But their movie was, it's a really, really good, fun film, and they made it.
You can actually consider it like a fan film in a way, because it's taking the.
No, it really is. They changed the names a little bit, like more or less like any sort of comedy would. Mm-hmm. So you still have Jack, and you have instead of it being what the heck is his name? I'm having a brain fart, but I know who he is. Soul Patch. We call him Soul Patch.
From the show?
From the damn show, yeah.
His buddy that just came back alive this season?
Tony Almeida.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we call him Soul Patch in the show, in the comedy. And, there's the president, and, we have Palmer in it and all that. So, but it's a really funny show. A funny little 7-minute project. So
I want to check that out.
Yes, definitely.
And we emulated exactly the credit sequence of 24. So it looks just like 24.
Cool.
So yeah, that's about it. Just those other little projects, and I think you guys would probably get a kick out of the Huntleigh Files. It's 2 teenage girls. A girl gets this box delivered to her, and then it kind of sets her off on this mission. Inside the box is a phone, and then just a series of different types of events happen along the way, and each little 5-minute episode ends in a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it sounds like
it's kind of a web series.
Yeah, it's a web series that we got a couple people we're pitching it to. And,
very cool.
What we'd like to do is shoot 13 episodes total, and then when we're done, combine it into a feature film and
right.
Get it out there.
Yeah,
but
your own original works, they can make money for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the thing is the next project is
What's that?
To make some coin.
He's all choked up about it. He's so passionate about his project. He's choked up about it. You okay, Sean? Do we have to call 911? You okay?
There's exposure that you get out of doing a G.I. Joe fan film that you wouldn't get out of doing another type of movie, though. Just like the guys that do Star Wars movies. You haven't built an audience already.
Yeah, absolutely, yep. And as I tell everyone I talk to, okay, you made this. We're familiar with G.I. Joe, so now we're going to follow you on your career to see what you make next. Your original projects, like the Huntleigh Files, stuff like that.
Huntleigh Files.
Yeah.
We got you back, man.
And I have Jeff's going to make the poster for that as well. So
quality.
An early cut of the movie, and and I'll send you guys a link to the, it'll be on the website eventually, so you can check it out there.
We will definitely.
And Chris will definitely post it, and we'll also post links on our websites, fanboytheater.com and comicbookbin.com, and you'll be out there on
We'll do what we can do.
All right.
That's what we can do, I don't know.
Where we sit.
We can do something.
It's not much, but yeah, it's a little bit.
A little bit, something.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
So it was great. It was great talking to you, man. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, hey, it's my pleasure.
And best of luck with everything. And I guess to be corny, Yo Joe.
Yeah.
Yo Joe.
Yep.
It's off the battle.
That's right.
That's right. Tell Hasbro that's the reason I'm buying their damn box set. I wasn't going to get it.
Yo Joe without trademark infringement.
Hey, I still collect the toys, so, there you go.
Hey, they got new ones out now, so.
Exactly, and I'm buying them. So, hey, here you go, Hasbro. I'm supporting you. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, one thing about the DVD set, just so you guys know.
Okay.
It's a 17-disc box set. It's got all the 95 episodes, I guess, of the show. They have the movie Battle for the Serpent Stone in that box set, but then they're also dividing the show up into seasons, I believe. And we're on season 2 as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that's what was coming out anyways. Okay. I thought they were doing it by season. I wouldn't realize.
The posting that says season 1.1 is incorrect. It's on season 2 is what I've been told.
Gotcha.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Well, thank you, sir.
I don't know if you have any other questions, or?
I am totally tapped unless Mr. Fanboy Will has anything else.
I am completely done, and I'm satisfied with a good interview here.
Yes, absolutely. You want to do a final plug for yourself and your site?
Check out
I think you're right,
Battle for the Serpent Stone with the G.I. Joe Collector's box set when it comes out on DVD, I believe July 21st. If I get that right, huh? Make sure that it's
if it's wrong, we'll put it on the website.
If it's wrong,
I'll edit that part out.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, thank you very much for taking the time. We very much appreciate it. And your film.
Thank you very much.
Very entertaining, or we wouldn't have asked you to come on. Is that wrong to say? Is that right? Yeah, right. Well, we try to do the best. The best of the best, anyways.
The cream of the crop.
Yeah.